Welcome. Well,
Hey, welcome everybody to episode 1 of Generational Hate.
yeah, here we are.
I am Josh,
I'm Zane.
and I guess a little bit about ourselves and what we're doing here today. Zane, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, the episode title and everything like that kind of explains it. Josh, I don't know if you know this or not. We're not supposed to like each other,
No,
like at all.
no, not at all. We are supposed to loathe each other.
Yeah, I should be like throwing bricks at his window, and Josh should be like spray painting the house. Yeah, no.
Yes.
And I think kind of what we want to start doing here, and especially in this first episode that we're doing here, is kind of explaining what are we doing here, right? And why did we think it's important? And I think a lot of it's because we're supposed to hate each other in modern America. Everyone says we do. The media says we should. Politicians say we should. But I guess my question to you, Josh, is why don't we?
Why don't we hate each other? The simple answer to that is because we're grown adults. No, it comes down to rational thinking, critical thinking, just being able to handle opposing views. And that's something that this world is severely lacking on all sides.
Yeah, I mean,
is the ability to discuss topics and to disagree on things and walk away at least mutual, not hating each other. Nobody said you have to be friends, but there's no reason you can't mutually agree to disagree and go about your day.
Yeah, no, completely. And I think a lot of it, and in recent years, it's gotten much, much worse, right? And honestly, thinking like back in the last few years, I think it's really gotten worse. And like not necessarily like leave like governments out of it, but like society as a whole has just kind of been on this like edge of deciding who they like, who they don't like, because somebody's telling them who to like and who to not like. And I think we see a lot of it through the media, the government, that damn phone, as your generation says.
That damn phone. Yeah. Yeah, the media, I think, is the biggest one. Anybody, especially mainstream media. When we say media, when we see media, we're talking mainstream media. So your Fox News's, MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, the big five.
Oh yeah.
If anybody tells you that none of those networks are biased, they're lying to you.
They're just wrong.
And they can bring in, I think it CNN that has that panel show that's got what's his name, Kurt Jennings.
Is it?
I think.
I try not to watch a lot of mainstream.
Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of it, but it's basically like a panel of Democrats, liberals, with a single Republican on it. It's kind of, the opposite of Fox News's The Five, where they have 4 Republicans and 1 Democrat.
Yeah.
And they try to shake it off as being balanced because look, we got somebody from the other side, but at the same time, they're just bullying that person.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think like you said, again, like on the completely other side, there's Fox, right?
Yes.
Where they might not just invite somebody on, but like all they do for like an entire segment is just tell people that like, remember when like the election was going on and was it Jesse Walters? Is that the Fox News guy? I think it is.
Jesse Waters.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, grown men should not be drinking out of straws. Right. And people eat this up.
Yeah.
And all it is just like spreading this message. And, it's just on both sides spreading like this almost hateful message of your fellow man.
Right.
Because like at the end of the day, right, we're all just here trying to get along. Why should we be picking sides, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It to me, it goes back to, um, the famous quote from Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
A house divided cannot stand.
Yeah.
And it is, I think, both, like you had mentioned, the media and the government
Mm-hmm.
working to keep the general populace divided in order to maintain control.
Yeah. And
because if the population is too busy fighting each other, then they're too busy to look at what the government's doing.
yeah, and there's this message, and I know that my social media is different than yours,
Yeah.
for lots of reasons. But there's this message I see all the time where it's not a left versus right, it's an up versus down
Right.
type situation. And in a lot of ways, I agree with that. You know what I mean? It's just a group of people who, and like me and you, Josh, we're just regular people. You know what I mean? We're
Walmart Americans.
Walmart.
As I picked that term up from, like them or hate them, Asmongold.
God, yeah.
That's what he calls, your normal everyday Americans. They're Walmart Americans, just normal people.
Yeah. And the normal people, especially of the United States, right, over the last 10 years have been dealing with this ongoing just headaches every morning, BS on the news. And it's led to a lot of people just not wanting to associate with other people because of who they voted for.
Right.
Or anything else, right? I mean, that's a prime example, Josh. That
yeah. You can put a lot of it like I said, the last 10 years. But I've started seeing a lot of it since COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely gotten worse.
That's a funny example for me because COVID started under Trump's first term.
Yeah.
And Trump greenlit the production of vaccines at the end of his first term. And so we're going to do this. It was Operation Warp Drive or Warp Speed, whatever. And, he cut the red tape, gave all the big pharmaceutical companies immunity in order to get these things mass produced quickly. And you had all the Democrats in Congress saying, we're not going to take the Trump jab. And then Trump gets voted out of office. Biden takes over. He continues Operation Warp Speed. And then all of a sudden, it's the other side saying, we're not going to take the Biden jab.
Yep. And then, of course, like you saw it on state level too, because we had blue states versus red states on their different types of stuff. We had people on the right, like the anti-vax crowd. And that was being pushed by the government too, especially on the state level, right? Yeah. I mean, Josh, we live in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like
we're pretty red.
We are the reddest state in America.
I mean, this last election, we did not have a blue county.
Yeah, election before that too.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of it. And I do agree. I think a lot of it was because of COVID. And I think that ramped up everything because you had a bunch of different messages going around of government overreach and stuff like that. And a lot of people piggybacked that in their way into office.
Yes.
And I tend to believe that both sides, I'm going to say this, maybe not both sides, but the original Republicans and Democrats, the two-party system, wanted somewhat the same thing, and they just disagreed on how to get there.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it. Like, go back to like the Kennedy era.
Oh, I love Kennedy.
Each side basically had the same end goal. It was just the path taken to get to that end goal was different.
Yeah, I think we're at a point now, right? And like probably in a later episode, we'll pull these up side by side, but this is not exactly what we're talking about. But like if you look at a Reagan debate or even an Obama debate on the presidential stage, and you compare it to Trump v. Hillary, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or even the most recent one, it's almost lost all meaning, and people are just eating out of this hand
Right.
and taking messages from both sides, and it's really polarized.
Yeah,
I think, the political spectrum.
It has become a high school student council campaign.
Oh yeah, it has. And I was asked when I was in high school why I never did those, and it was because I just thought it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think realistically, grown people, right, need to start learning, and this is where the debate side of me is going to come out, the debate coach side of me is going to come out,
Sure.
is people need to learn how to have an argument.
Yes.
I see it firsthand, and that's why, and you know how much I love debate and why I love it so much is because it teaches the next generation of voters how to actually approach confrontation. Because
Correct.
what we have now is just two people fully convinced in their views shouting at each other from a distance. And I think that is why what we are doing is important.
Yeah. Take for example, again, I'm gonna show our differences in timelines, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't picked it up yet, I consider myself more of a constitutionalist than a Republican, libertarian, but right leaning, small government type of things, civil rights, that kind of stuff. So my feeds are typically going to be more right leaning on stuff I see. And these two individuals, again, love them or hate them, Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, right? They got the Turning Point USA thing, the Young Americans for Freedom. They go to college campuses and talk with college students. And in principle, I love the idea because it brings that idea of debate to a college campus where people should be learning how to use critical thinking skills. Now, there are multiple instances where those two individuals will use kind of gotcha moments and, but I think it's a good idea to have these type of things on college campuses to get kids, even though they're adults, I'm 44 years old. They're kids to me. And to get them just to talk to an opposing view, get out of the echo chamber. And because the echo chamber is not real world. It's just not. If you live in an echo chamber, you will be miserable and unsuccessful in your life. So, I mean, you have to be able to put yourself in these situations, uncomfortable situations where you're going to be dealing with people you don't agree with, and learn how to communicate with them.
Yep. And I mean, another prime example of how different we are is I'm a Democrat. I call myself a liberal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't like Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro.
Sure.
And my main reason between it is kind of what you said of when they go to college campuses. I agree. I think people in high school should honestly be able to have a conversation.
Yes.
And not just be shouting at each other.
Right.
And
junior, senior year, especially.
And I see it firsthand when I help out at my school. Is I think a lot of that leads into, in my opinion, some of the separation, right? Is you have Charlie Kirk, right? Going to a college and picking out of the crowd somebody who obviously doesn't know what they're talking about. And Charlie's going to read all these statistics at him.
Sure.
And he's just going to, like you said, gotcha.
Right. Yeah. Steven Crowder
Mhm.
is real big with that. You know, his changed my mind segments that he would do on college campuses.
Yep.
He'd show up with binders
Yeah.
of information.
Yeah.
You know, so it's I mean, he's researching these topics that they're talking about, whereas the college students aren't.
Yeah,
And
and who do you think's gonna win that debate?
right.
You know?
And but there's a way, you know, they frame it as being a debate, whereas I think what they should be doing is using it more as a teaching moment.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I have all this information,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to, you know, tell you you're wrong because I have all this information. You know, I'll
Exactly.
present this information and, you know, tell you this is what the information says.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and I think let's just continue on, and we'll with this like the whole YouTube thing and these like mini social creators because I kind of
Sure.
like the role we're going on, and we can talk about the next segment of media. Um, like I think, in my opinion, right, is people promoting politics like for a job, like Ben Shapiro, Kirk, all of them, both sides, right? They spread a certain message because that's how they get paid. They are
Sure.
paid for you not to like each other.
Right.
Because if everybody was like me and Josh, where we got along, they wouldn't have an audience. If people were able to have conversations, they would have an audience. And
Except that's what we're trying to foster here.
exactly.
For those people who know how to do this.
Yeah.
This is the place for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if you don't know how to do this,
Mhm.
you know, drop in, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Chat
See what
with
it's
us.
like.
We'll be respectful to everybody.
Yeah. And like there's all these different social media platforms nowadays, right? Where people all have their own soapbox. And I think that also fuels it, right? Because I think it's kind of like we said about the echo chamber. I think social media is putting people in their own echo chamber where they're only seeing things about why one side's right, one side's wrong, and everything else.
Right.
And I think that leads to a lot of problems about why people are just suddenly just hating each other.
Yeah. I mean, social media is just real big about that. Like, kind of like what we've been talking about. We open up Facebook, and all you're going to see, like most 90% of what I see is going to be right leaning, which just inherently puts you in a bit of an echo chamber. You know, 90% of the stuff you see is going to be left leaning.
Yep.
And again, it's one of these things. These platforms are making money off of keeping you divided.
Yep.
Because it entices it. You do have engagement in those, but it's not the right type of engagement. It's just people yelling and screeching at each other. But you know, Facebook don't care.
No.
Because the more comments they get, the more money they get paid.
Yep. Yep. And I know I was talking to you about this before the episode got on. Because I sent this email to you about it, how I wanted to bring it up is this new Jubilee video.
Sure.
So if you guys don't know what Jubilee is, it's a YouTube channel. And pretty much what they do is they'll do stuff like one Republican versus 20 Democrats. And
this is the one where they raise the flags?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And their newest episode has been all over my feed. And this is the exact kind of problem I see is when we give people this type of extremist just soapbox to stand on, it makes people think that since Josh is a Republican, I think Josh is a fascist Nazi. And Josh will think I'm a rambling communist.
Right.
So let me see if I can bring this up. All right, we there?
I gotta.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
let me
reshare it. Remove it and reshare it.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to click play because Josh, I don't think you've seen this yet.
No.
Okay, cool.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frankly, because in regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us. And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized. Making women and children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment. I think that, quite frankly, there are a lot of legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So this is wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out. So
He's not conservative.
just
No.
checking. Do you support the Second Amendment?
No.
I do.
Okay.
And you see
Surprised.
how
I was
me
shocked to
can
hear that.
tell that pretty straightforward.
I'm saying that
Yeah.
Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm
This
more
is
than
a
willing
prime
to.
example
I'm more than
of
willing to amend
left
it
v.
and
right.
include
Whenever
the
it's in
Second
your
Amendment.
favor.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not.
So
Because
you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
Of course, he's not. I
So-
completely agree,
So
and
you
that's part of
support
the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I
Why
can't
did
even
you-
remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted.
This is
I kind
fascinating.
of voted just to
I came with this
troll a
argument,
little
but I'm
bit,
bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
Yeah, absolutely.
how do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local
Who
leaders,
is the we,
or-
by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far right conservatives sitting right around
White
me.
people?
Yeah,
No brown
absolutely.
people. So
Well,
some of
actually,
you guys,
I have quite.
some of the people
I
in this
have
room
quite-
don't make the cut
no,
from what I can see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you.
Okay.
I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white
So
and should stay that
How
way.
does the United States? I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name
We're
is.
gonna have to pause so we don't
My
get
name's Connor.
in trouble.
Pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of
Yeah.
We can discuss it, but
Yes.
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of where I wanted to end it anyway, just because you kind of see this.
Yeah, that's ha.
So
I don't know what to say.
yeah. And in my opinion, this is part of the problem is we have people getting these types of platforms, right? Calling themselves a conservative. And even as you just said blatantly in the video, he's not a conservative,
Right.
right? That is somebody who later in that segment calls himself a Nazi.
Right. I mean, by definition, a conservative is somebody who works to keep the status quo.
Yep.
You know, to keep change from happening.
Yeah. And this was a prime example of probably if people aren't socially engaged and this is what they're being fed. Yeah, no wonder why when somebody says they voted for Trump or if they're Republican, they immediately dislike them.
Yeah.
When that's the message being spread.
Yeah, and there's examples, you know, I don't have one with me, but there are examples with the other way as well, where
Yeah.
you have on the far left people who are willing to do that exact same thing
Mhm.
for the things they care about, but not the things you care about.
Yes, exactly.
And those are the only two people we get to see.
Exactly. And now, call me radical here, Josh, but I feel like if we had people up there who were true Democrats and true Republicans, we wouldn't have this big divide, right?
Yeah, if you had like, JFK Democrats,
Mhm.
Reagan Republicans.
Or like, you don't even need to go that far back. Like
No.
2000, John McCain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like McCain was a pretty fair illustration of conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the same way about Obama. He's a Democrat. And we just haven't seen that in so long. I think people are forgetting to see what it looks like.
I could see that.
And it necessarily things like Jubilee or anything else giving these people platforms does not help at all. I think it just worsens the problem.
No, but it also gives everybody else the ability to, I don't know. I don't want to say point and laugh, but I think even those extreme views, I think it is important to allow them to have a platform.
Yeah. And
I mean, regardless of what that guy said about the First Amendment,
Mhm.
the First Amendment applies to everybody, every belief. He didn't want an autocracy; he wanted a theocracy.
Yeah. And later in that segment, he starts quoting some Nazi propaganda people and some stuff from Germany in World
Right.
War II.
And this is the same guy who would probably say that life in the Middle East isn't really good.
Yeah.
And not realize the irony behind that statement.
Yeah, this is a prime example of what living in an echo chamber does to someone.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this off the podcast, I think to your brother, as we were talking and I brought up that video and I was like, do you think that would have aired in like 2010 in the United States and gotten like support? I think we've started to normalize this type of behavior, and it's not everybody. It's like 1%.
Yeah. And that's the issue. It's because it wouldn't get organic response.
Yeah.
There would be people who see it. There would be people that agree with it. But I think we're seeing more of it because that's what social media wants us to see.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like leading on to this, like we've been talking a lot about streamers, right? For the first half hour to this. But they help with like the general population, but everybody and close to everybody in the United States always has a news channel on in their TV in their living room. Right?
Yeah.
And Josh, what were those 5 mainstream channels we were just talking about earlier? Like, yeah. There is, I mean, the main 2 is obviously CNN, which is left-leaning, right?
Right. CNN, Fox News.
Mm-hmm. And Fox is obviously right-leaning. And then people claim bias when it's just like not there. And those are in everybody's TV rooms, and it's just people telling you not to like someone. And let's be really clear. What me and Josh are not saying is that these are full-blown propaganda machines. I'm saying that what they report on, some of it's probably true, right? But the message they talk about when it comes to the left and the right sides of the aisle, that's what's causing a divide.
Right. This is an old clip, but I love it because it kind of goes with this whole idea that we're talking about, where the media is feeding us all this stuff.
Okay. I'm excited. I haven't seen this.
Let's see. Share screen. I'll full screen this. Oh, unmute it.
That might help.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling, irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without
This
checking
is-
facts first. Unfortunately,
Oh my god. I don't
This
think I've
is-
seen this before.
This is Orwellian. I mean, and this is everybody. This is Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, all of them.
Yeah.
Reading from the same script.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just, people fall for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And this is what I tell people, people talk about the news and I tell people, you don't hate them enough because the news is not on your side.
no.
They're on their side.
And don't get us wrong. There are good news outlets. But
Yeah.
what we're talking about specifically is the mainstream media that is just feeding people this like hateful message. And yeah, who are they? You think the news media is like, you think CNN is out there for you? Yeah. Do you think Fox is out there for you? No, they're out there for your senator, for your congressman.
Yep.
Trying
They-
to push everything.
They are like any other corporation. They exist to make money.
Yep. And then when people do try to like shrink the gap between the parties, they just get pushed out.
Yeah.
Because that's not what's making them money. Like I said earlier with like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk, they don't get paid to make you like each other.
No.
Not one bit. No. And I just it aggravates me so much when just like I'm out in public, right? And Josh knows exactly what type of stuff I wear out in public. I wear the stupidest hats ever. Like my outfit when I wear out in public is just ridiculous. And it always sparks conversation, right? And I would turn it around, but my hair is like so bad. But this hat is just stupid, and it says, "I love Big Pharma, microplastics, and the CIA." And it's, and I literally earlier today, Josh, I was out Target, and somebody commented on my hat. They're like, "Your hat's really funny, right?" I went, "Yeah, yeah," and they go, "Dude, do you watch Fox?" I was like, No, I do not.
No.
And he goes,
I don't-
"Oh, okay." And he walked away. Now, I don't exactly know what that was about, but people do not learn to like each other when they get all their information from Fox or CNN.
Right.
And then you have people who are like, "No, man, I watch it all." And I'm like, "Wow, you're almost as dumb as the rest." Like,
Yeah. Independent media is it's actually winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
More people get their news from content creators than they do from mainstream media now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a
And-
good thing or a scary thing.
I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because like there's people like Dylan Page. I don't know if you know who he is, Josh. He's really popular on TikTok, right?
The name's familiar.
Yeah. And he's TikToker, reports on news. They gave him a White House press pass because of how popular his videos are. And I look underneath some of his videos, and some of them are like, wow, what a dim. You know what I mean? And then the next video, it's like, oh, so you're just a Republican. It's because he reports the news
Right.
the way the news should be reported.
Right. And then you got guys like Aiden Ross interviewing President Trump during his campaign.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is what people are going for now.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are really drawn to him. Like, I think he just interviewed Netanyahu,
Okay.
like the Israeli president.
I'll have to
Right.
check that out.
Yeah. Either he did or he's thinking about it. I think he did, because there was this big clip going around of where Netanyahu said he preferred Burger King over McDonald's. And he said, wow, that's your worst take ever. And people are like, that's his worst take?
Yeah, and then stuff like the comedian. There's a comedian.
Theo Von?
No, well, him too. There's a comedian who has a podcast with like 3 other guys.
Oh, man.
Adam, is it Adam something? Let's see if I can find it. But it's just another content creator that
Mhm.
I don't know these guys' political leanings. I can probably infer it if I watched them enough. But they interviewed Trump during his campaign.
I know. I think the Nelk Boys.
They recently interviewed Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, but Bernie made the rounds.
And, you know, and that's the kind of thing that I want to see from more content creators. If you're going to step into kind of the political sphere, you know.
Don't be another Fox.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to people from all sides.
Yep. Yep. There is a...
And this one group, they're not afraid to push. You know, they ask hard questions and I love them for it.
Yeah. And I think what you just said should be almost everybody who claims to be a news media outlet should be doing. Is if you're going to step into the realm of trying to tell people what's good, what's bad, and what they should be avoiding, and if you don't interview all sides, you don't have the right to do that. Because if I just talked to all my fellow friends who mostly are Democrats, because I'm young and that seems to be the trend, you know, if I talk to all of them, I'm 100% sure I would be in my own echo chamber, right? And yeah, honestly, the media is just so bad these days. Like, in general, they just, what you just said, I agree with it completely. If you're going to get into it, you have to talk to everybody, or else you're just one side reporting and you're not helping anything.
Right. It's Andrew Schultz is the comedian I was speaking of.
Andrew Schultz. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew Schultz, like, because he endorsed Trump in this most recent bid.
Yeah.
And then
because Trump actually came and talked to him.
Yep. And then as of recently, he's been like, this is ridiculous. And then I see him interview Bernie Sanders, and I'm like, okay, so we're spreading our wings a little bit.
And I think that's the way. I don't know how fast it's going to happen, but I think that's actually going to become the norm, especially for like presidential elections, is for candidates to go on these big time podcasts.
Yeah, which I don't necessarily know if I agree with or not, but
well,
like
I think it's. I mean, to me, I like that better. I mean, still have your debates. You know, your 3 or 4 presidential debates, but with these podcasts, you get a wide variety of an audience. And if you're just doing interviews with CNN, MSNBC, CBS, you're only preaching to your base.
Yep.
if you're only doing Fox News, you're only preaching to your base.
Yep. And I think,
But you go on Andrew Schultz or Joe Rogan, not just Republicans listen to Joe Rogan.
no.
So, and he's got millions of people listening to him every day.
Yep.
You're going to get your message out there
Oh, yeah.
to people who wouldn't normally hear it.
Yeah. And I think the overall message of what you just said, at least the message I got from it, or at least the lesson, is if people just listened to one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, honestly, if more people just got their information from just honestly looking it up and not just listening to a TV host tell them, we wouldn't be so socially divided as we are right now.
Right.
Because like current United States is like a time ago, right? Like the 2010s, there's always been a political divide. There always will be.
Yeah.
But it is almost unrecognizable today how big it's gotten.
Yeah. And I actually don't think it's as big as we're led to believe.
Yeah. I'm interested. Tell me more.
So kind of just, again, going off of what we've been talking about, we only see two sides of the story.
Yep.
Well, I mean, there is just two sides, but we're only seeing the extremes.
Yeah.
On that side, on those sides.
Yeah.
I think the truth of the matter is more closely to, I would say, 75% of the American population probably agree on 90% of issues.
Yeah. I think I could agree with that.
And it's that 10% that the media preys on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think normal people, and I've seen experiments done with this where they just drop people off at a bar of all different political leanings
mm-hmm.
and just let them in and just talk. And they soon find out, yeah, we don't agree with things. But the vast majority of them will actually sit down and have a conversation with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they might come to agreements on some things. They might disagree on some things. They'll have a beer with each other and go about their day.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a vast majority of our country is.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And I'm going to go on to say, even some of the more polarizing issues, right? Me and you have talked about guns, for example, right? And we obviously have different stances, right? But we talked on a car ride and we were like, okay, yeah, we can start doing this or we can start doing that. And it wasn't two sides fully convinced of their views. It was two people having a conversation, and we came to a sense of, yeah, maybe my side's not completely right. Maybe that side has a couple points. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
yeah. I am very much pro Second Amendment.
Yeah. And
I'm almost on the extreme side of that.
And I'm very pro gun control. Right. Yeah. And yeah, in a later episode, we'll probably talk more about that. But staying on topic, overall, we're supposed to hate each other. And that's what everyone says we are. But that's not it. And I think a lot of it has to do with like even some of the more emerging aspects of each political party, right? Right. Modern Democrats are not the same as they were 20 years ago. And just before we're talking about the episode of modern day Republicans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Trump is not a Republican.
I was just about to say, what do you always say when I bring up Trump and Republicans?
Yeah. he is an America First classic liberal. He is a JFK liberal. Pro-business, pro-America. It's just that things have gotten so skewed that those views are now seen by some as extreme.
And I think, what's the phrase we always use? Trumplican?
Trumplican. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, right? Very little, right? But like specifically, let's talk about the right side for a moment,
Okay.
right? The modern Republican Party is almost splitting in half right now, but you see like avid loyalists, which I have never seen before, right?
Yeah.
And people always talk about like the splitting, but I think what you said is correct. Is, well, Trump's not a Republican; he just runs on the red ticket. He formed his own base, separate from everything else, and he's using that base to either shut out any Republican who votes against him, or they just simply won't say anything negative about him because they're afraid of like a repercussion coming from the White House. And that is the state of the current Republican Party. And that is also leading to people who call themselves Republicans being, where do I stand? I mean,
right. Yeah. And that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. I voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Because I didn't vote for him because I'm not a Trumplican. I agreed with his policies more so than I agreed with the other side's policies. But as Zane will tell you, I will call him out if he's doing something that I don't like. Yeah.
Multiple occasions Josh has called him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not a party loyalist. I am not a presidential loyalist. I'm loyal to this country.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, putting when you start having that level of loyalism is when I start thinking about the fascist word.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'm glad you brought that up and I didn't.
I don't think Trump is a fascist.
Mm-hmm.
However, anybody can become a fascist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hitler wasn't born a fascist.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of similarities to Trump.
Yep.
Or I should say Trump has a lot of similarities to him.
Yep.
But there are also other politicians who have a lot of similarities with Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Hitler started as a nationalist
mm-hmm.
candidate. He ran on the ticket that the extensive sanctions that then not NATO, but the precursor to NATO put on Germany after World War I was putting them into economic ruin.
Yeah, and then it didn't help. The stock market crashed.
The stock market crashed, and so he ran on this ticket of we need to bring back German pride, patriotism.
Yep.
Which inherently is not a bad thing.
But gone too far.
A bad
thing.
Yes.
And
I will be the first person to tell you that if he does something that I believe steps over the line, I'll let you know.
Yep. And like going on with that just for a moment, and then I'll kind of tell you what it feels like on the current left is with the loyalism. And I'm going to be honest with you, Josh, when I see people call Trump a fascist, right, is I agree. I don't think he's fascist, but I think his administration is hinting at fascism, right? Because everything's up with the sledgehammer, and some of the moves he's been making, like as of recently, even within his own party, has been alarming. Like his party refusing Democrats to speak on Senate councils and stuff like that. It's alarming to me. And then on the other side, right, on the left, and it all comes down to what I think is patriotism on the left, right? Because people will come in and I have an American flag back there, right, hanging on the other side of my door. It's at the point now where the parties have been so split in half, right? Where I'm called a Republican fascist, right?
Welcome to the party.
Like, and that's not everybody, you know what I mean? But the majority of Americans who only get their information through like CNN and Fox, the second they talk about how I'm very pro America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second they start seeing those hints from me, they immediately start assuming I'm a Trumplican.
Yeah.
And that immediately causes them to distance themselves, right? Now, obviously, that hasn't happened to me that much because I'm going to be honest with you, Josh, anybody who thinks like that, I really don't want to be around. You know what I mean? But
yeah, and nobody puts a baby in a corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the current political parties, right? And we're in a Trump administration, so let's just be blunt. Most of this is coming from the new right wing, and it's overflowing into the sense of Democrats having to start backing up their views harder than normal because there's loyalists in the government.
Yeah, it is something that's been going on for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, pendulum swings are normal in government.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to swing left, it's going to swing right. But the thing with the pendulum is eventually it stops.
Mm-hmm.
But our government, it seems the pendulum the swings get bigger.
Yeah. And I think they start sticking a little longer.
The left, as it swings left, it goes farther left. As it swings right, it goes farther right. In rebuff to them, you know, okay, you moved so far left, which means we have to move even farther right to counteract what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you moved that much farther right, so now we have to move even farther left. And you ended up just meeting on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Just authoritarian dictatorship.
Yes. You become, I mean, one side's calling one side fascist, and the fascist side is calling the other side communist.
Mm-hmm.
Communists are just two sides to the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
And neither side is good.
No. But at the end of the day, and the reason why we started doing generational hate is because I want to show people that real conversation is still a thing.
Yes.
That normal Americans still exist. And it's hard to believe that that's looking back during the Obama administration of him walking out on the floor and seeing both sides clap, right? That's the type of stuff I want Americans to still think out there. That people are still just people.
Yep. And to be a place where not just be an echo chamber, not just be a place where you can have your feelings or your thoughts challenged,
mm-hmm.
but if you're one of those people like us
mm-hmm.
who just want to have a conversation,
but
you're inundated by both sides saying you're not allowed to have that conversation. That's what we're here for.
And that's what we're going to continue to do. When we have a layout, we'll start doing more episodes each week covering anything going on in the world, domestic, mostly geopolitics, but everything going on to show people that Republicans and Democrats and conservatives and liberals can still agree on things.
Yeah. Because I think for the most part, most Americans wants what's best for America.
Mm-hmm.
Not just what's best for the politicians.
Yeah, because let's be real here. Realistically, who loves a certain politician? Like, it's like saying that stripper really loved you.
No. She loves that paycheck. And That's a politician's thing too.
Yeah.
They love that paycheck.
Yeah.
They're self-serving.
There's very few that I think truly care.
And that's something I'd like to talk about too sometime.
Yeah.
Is
I agree.
why politicians get rich.
Yeah. Why do they get rich, Josh?
Tune in to a future episode.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yep. And I think we're going to do another one of these. It'll be releasing on Sunday, right?
Sunday. Yeah. I think
Sunday.
we've decided Wednesday nights we'll do like an hour.
Yep.
Just kind of going over things. Maybe not like today. Today was one big topic.
Yep.
Just kind of introducing ourselves, what we do. Wednesdays, I think we're going to do an hour, do 15, 20 minutes on a few different topics, ranging from geopolitics. We might throw in some pop culture, because I'm on the big belief that politics is downstream from pop culture.
Yeah.
That they influence each other. They are they are interconnected. We might not talk a whole lot of pop culture, but some. We might do some movie reviews, just kind of throw some fun stuff in there. But Sundays, we're looking a couple hours for Sunday nights, where we will do deep dives into one specific subject. Stay tuned for this Sunday's topic. I've got an idea that I want to bounce off your head.
Sounds good. And make sure to check out all their socials. If you tune in the stream late, because I saw a couple of viewers bounce in and out. If you want to catch the full stream, it'll post on YouTube. Generational Hate. Get our Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to join the Facebook group, we'll get you in. Overall, join the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Conversation's good. Debate is good.
Make sure that you have a place to talk. And if you have any ideas for any future episodes, anything specifically you want to talk about, I know one of our coworkers has offered to make me another list of things we should talk about. And
God bless that man.
I love him. But yeah, join the conversation, get involved with our page. I know we're very new, but this is something I think is going to go very far. Something I think is going to be fun.
Yeah, it is just what we do on a daily basis anyway.
And
we're just trying to involve more people with it now.
At work, in
the car,
at a game table. But yeah, looks like we're coming close to that hour mark.
Yeah, I think we can call it quits for tonight.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm Zane, your radical communist.
I'm Josh, your far right fascist.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.